Man, I hope y'all are ready for today because I'm about to drag all of your signs, probably even my own, but I'm sorry for what I'm about to do because I'm about to kind of drag everyone's signs, but hopefully y'all don't get offended because like somebody's gotta be worst and somebody's gotta be best, you know what I mean? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Alexa and I make videos twice a week, every Tuesday and Saturday. So today I'm doing something that's gonna be kind of fun. I am going to be doing a little like ranking of all of the astrology signs. So if you guys wanna hear what my favorite and least favorite are, stay tuned. I got kind of into astrology in like the past year. I like every once in a while when I want to just like check in with the stars, I'm like, oh, I'll check my horoscope. I don't like buy into it hardcore or anything like that. I just think it's kind of interesting, and I think a lot of the people that I know actually relate really strongly to their signs. So, I mean, it's pretty interesting. If you guys are wondering, I am a Scorpio, so for now, let's just get started with the very first sign, which is Aries. To kind of give you a background of the signs, if like that helps you at all. So there are 12 signs total, and they each are assigned like an element. So there's earth, water, fire, and air. So that gives you 3 of each type of element. So then those 3 are actually given these like labels, these qualities, which are cardinal, fixed, and mutable. And basically cardinal means like initiating kind of, fixed means like it's very set, it's very stabilizing, and then mutable means kind of like flowing or changing. And it's kind of important when you go through the signs to know the element and the quality that it has, because I think it really describes the sign itself. So if we're talking about Aries, Aries are cardinal and fire. So cardinal fire, if you think of that, it kind of makes me think of like a spark. Like they heat up really quickly, but then they die right away. So if we're talking about Aries, I think of all the Aries that I know in my life. I have a lot of family members that are Aries, and they can be really reactionary, and but not necessarily in a bad way. They're just, Aries are very reactionary, but then they can die down just as quickly, if that makes sense. Very independent, very passionate about whatever they're passionate about. They tend to be very bad at concealing their feelings. If they feel a certain way, you're gonna know. Like, it's just how it is. Aries are kind of considered like the babies of like the whole astrology wheel, which is also why they can be so like sparky, if that makes sense. But as for Aries in my life, I actually get along really well with Aries. I don't know why, but I do. I actually really like a lot of the Aries that are in my life. I think the sparky quality is something that is very interesting, and I actually like it a lot. So we're just gonna put Aries on our scale and see where other things lie. I'm just gonna put it right in the middle for now. So our next sign is Taurus, which is represented by the bull, if you didn't know. And but it is fixed and earth, and I love all the Tauruses in my life. I'm not gonna lie, Taurus is a great sign for me personally because I just adore them. Tauruses are kind of like this steady, stable personality. Like you know what you're gonna get with a Taurus. They're very stable, they're very strong. I mean, if you try to argue with them, a lot of times it's like arguing with a brick wall. Like, you're not really gonna get anywhere because they're so stubborn. And that's something that, like, I really admire Tauruses, even though sometimes people think it's more of a boring sign. I don't really get that, but then again, I mean, I don't know, but all the Tauruses in my life are always such like stabilizing people, and people that I genuinely like. I definitely think it's probably one of my top signs. If we're looking at the scale, we're gonna put Taurus right above Aries. All right, we're gonna move on to the ever controversial Gemini. Let me sip the tea, even though it's coffee. Let's sip it. Let's talk about some, let's just like suggest some famous Gemini, just to like start you off with like what you're thinking of when you're thinking of a Gemini. Donald Trump and Kanye West, very famous Gemini. But anyways, Gemini are mutable air. So mutable is like ever changing. So think of like wind, kind of. They go with the flow. They're ever changing air sign. So Gemini have a huge reputation of being very two-faced. But in my opinion, some of the Geminis I know, I would not say are two-faced, but they are very like, I'm trying to think of like good description words for this. They are multi-faced, I guess. It's when they believe in something, they're gonna believe in it. They're gonna die for whatever they believe in, but they change their mind very easily, and I feel like that can lead to the correlation with being two-faced. So Geminis can be really, really social and fun to be around. They are, I wouldn't say the life of the party, but like they are fun to be with. I mean, they are they're like social butterflies, and they just love living life, but at the same time they have this like underlying layer of like untrust for people. Or I think this is where the multi-faced thing kind of comes in, because you never know what you're really gonna get with a Gemini, but like at the same time they're really fun to be around. I don't know, I think for Geminis it's really easy to become friends with them, but at the same time they're not necessarily a friend that I want to keep long term. And I'm not saying this to offend anybody, please nobody get offended, but if we're looking at the sign itself, I think that rings very true. And I think it's time to rank them. So on the ranking scale, we're gonna put Gemini right below Aries. So sorry, Geminis. All right, Cancers. We're ready for you. Let's talk about Cancer. So Cancers are water, and I believe they're cardinal water. So kind of like a stream, I guess. So Cancers are a little bit tricky. They can be like straight up manipulative, or they can be like very in touch with their feelings. They're kind of crabby, but it's kind of like the crab. The crab can be such a calm creature, just chilling out, just hanging out, just living its life. Or it can straight up like pinch you and come after you and eat you and crab. So it just kind of depends on how they're feeling. Cancers are very, if everything's going good with them, they're very good with the flow, they're very happy, they're just very living their life. But at the same time, Cancers, if something's going bad in one area of your life, it's gonna affect every single area of your life. And it's not necessarily your fault, it's just kind of how you're built. But on the flip side of it, I have a lot of friends who are Cancers, and which is kind of surprising. But Cancers, they have this thing about them. They're very, very charming. The first time you meet a Cancer, you are probably gonna love them. Like, honestly, honest to God, like Cancers are very, very charming. A Cancer is somebody, I'm gonna give more second chances to a Cancer than I am to a lot of the other signs, just because they are so charming. They are very compassionate, and I think it can kind of translate. I feel like Cancers make very good parents. I don't know why. Like, they're very compassionate and loving, but at the same time it can be a sort of manipulative kind of loving. I'm trying to think of my scale right now where I put Cancers in the lineup, and I think I'm gonna put Cancers right in between Aries and Gemini. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about our Leos, the lion. They are fixed in fire, so they are hard to handle. If you're a Leo, you are probably so happy that you are a Leo. Like, you were so proud. You were like, Leo's the best sign, eh? But for real, Leos are really fun to be around. They are the type of person that you would love to go to a party with, but they're also the type of person that would probably leave you at the party and become the center of attention. Leos, honestly, even Leos that don't express it, like, outwardly, they honestly think they rock. They are so happy to be themselves. And at times this can result in like craving attention. I think Leos can be a little bit hard to get along with at times. But at the same time, a lot of the Leos I know I genuinely like as people. So like, it's like this balance of like, I really like the Leos I know, but like at the same time I know that Leos can be a little bit hard to be with at times, honestly. I'm trying to think of a better word, but Leos can be a bit hypocritical at times. So when I think about my scale, I think I put Leos, I guess I'll put them right above Gemini because, it's hard. It's hard to, I think Gemini and Leos are like the same for me, so I guess I'll put them right above Gemini, but like, I don't know. But we're gonna move on to the Virgos. Okay, Virgos are honestly one of my favorite signs, I'm not gonna lie. Virgos are mutable earth. So when you talk about mutable earth, I think of clay, like that kind of mutable earth, and I think it varies a lot because sometimes they are the person who is like molding the clay and making it how they want it, but other times a lot of Virgos that I know personally are more of the clay itself. So they like are very much people pleasers and very easy to get along with, all that kind of stuff. In my experience, Virgos tend to be very trustworthy, very loyal, and they honestly give some of the best advice because they're just very level-headed people that I know, at least. I think that like Virgos are kind of like the type of person that will like clean up everyone else's mess, but then they don't need to be thanked for it because that's just what they do. And I mean, I think Virgos are at the top for me right now on the scale. I'm not gonna lie, I like my Virgos, I can't lie. So Virgos at the top. Let's talk about the Libras. So Libras are cardinal air, and I don't really know how to take that. I guess it's just kind of like movable air. They are very much people pleasers. I have a couple of really good friends who are Libras. So I think I like Libras overall. I mean, they're not bad. They are very much people pleasers. They are easy to make conversations with. They are very much small talkers, and when I think of Libras, I mean, I just really think of people pleasers. They really don't like to disturb the flow. They like to go with the flow more so. I think one of like the greatest fears of a Libra is that they are not liked. And I think that is where the people pleasing kind of stems from, sorry. And I mean, overall, I mean, they are kind of have a reputation as being a really fake sign because of the whole people pleasing thing. Like they might say one thing to certain people and then another thing to other people because of their people pleasing qualities. But overall, I don't have anything against a Libra. I think Libras are some of my like, some people that I really get along with, honestly. And so overall, I feel like Libras aren't that bad. So for me, I think I'm gonna put Libra in front of Cancer but below Aries. All right, we've reached it, guys. My favorite sign, which is obviously my own. Scorpios. For real though, I do love my sign. It is fixed water. So if you think of fixed water, it's ice. Very true to Scorpios, if you know what I mean. If you are a Scorpio or if you know a Scorpio, you know what I mean. Scorpios are known for being they can be a little mysterious. They see the world as very black and white. They don't like to live in the gray area. Like certain signs, like I feel like even like Libras can very much live in the gray area. But Scorpios don't even see that. Things are very black or they're white. There's nothing in between. They, the big thing about Scorpios is they have a big thing about trust. They, when they put their trust in somebody, they do not want to be betrayed. You do not want to cross a Scorpio ever, like, believe me. I mean, I've heard people say, like, if any sign would commit, like, a passion crime, like a murder of, like, their lover, it would be a Scorpio, because be crazy. Scorpios can be very sensitive and emotional, but they kind of weaponize it. Like if you love a Scorpio, if Scorpio loves you, if they're your best friend, you could not have a better friend than a Scorpio. And I'm so serious, because they will live and die for who they are with, who they are friends with. But then again, Scorpios, like I said, are very, very black and white. When we meet somebody, we immediately kind of, I don't want to say, we kind of put them in a box. So when we meet somebody, we're like, either I like you or I don't, and you are not changing my mind about it whatsoever. Like that's just how it is. It's set in stone. There's no changing your mind. But overall, when it comes to ranking my sign, oh man, this is hard for me. Alright, we're gonna put my sign right below Taurus, and I really love my sign. I would not change a thing about my sign. But I love me some Virgos and I love me some Tauruses, so it's number 3 right now. So let's move on. Sagittarius. Mutable, fire. So fire sign, but it's also very mutable. Mutable is very changing, so ever-changing fire. And the way I think about that is they are very passionate individuals, but they also are ever-changing. I think if anybody knows a Sagittarius, they know that they change their mind like... but in a way that makes it kind of, they're very fun and exciting, energetic individuals. I know that because I date a Sagittarius, and I love the way Sagittarius looks at life, I think, because Sagittarius is very, they're a very glass half full kind of person. Bad things will happen to them and they still believe that there's all this good in the world like waiting to be found, and that's very true for a lot of the Sagittariuses I know. I feel like they like to keep themselves busy, they like to be very involved, they like to do a lot of things. So for Sagittarius, I'm actually going to put it above Aries and below Scorpio. Capricorns, you are like interesting. Okay, so Capricorns are cardinal earth. And I don't really have anything bad to say about the people that I know that are Capricorns, but in general, I feel like the sign of Capricorn is a sign of self-dislike. And I feel like anyone who knows anything about astrology knows that's very true. They are very, I don't want to, oh man, it's hard because I feel like there's a lot of people that are Capricorns in my life that aren't very true to their sign, and I don't know why that is, because I feel like certain people I'm like, oh my god, you are dead on a Capricorn, and certain people I'm like, I don't think you're anything like a Capricorn, but like that's your sign, so that's kind of weird. Capricorns love to be down on themselves and really push themselves down, and it makes me feel really bad for them because I know it's just like it's just this self-pity thing they got going on. I don't know why. But then again, they are very intense and focused people. When they put their minds to something, they are very good at it. I know some Capricorns that can be very much like workaholics, in a good way though. They very much like once they get into something, they are doing it, they are very focused, they are very driven. So like if they really believe that they're gonna do something, they're gonna do it. And I'm saying that like school-wise, they are very driven in school. They like to be kind of involved. They like to be, they're go-getters. That's what they are. Once they put their mind to something, they're gonna do it. It's how it is. But the flip side of that positive is just their self-hatred. They really can get down on themselves and really put themselves down, and it like is very unfortunate. Like all my Capricorns out there, like I'm sending you love because you need it. Like I'm sorry, you need it. So I'm actually gonna put my Capricorns in between my Aries and my Libras, so right there, kind of right in the middle. Alright guys, we're down to our last 2 signs. The second to last is Aquarius, and I believe this is the least common sign. So if you're an Aquarius, like hats off to you because you're not very common. Aquariuses are fixed air. So I don't know why it's giving me this right now, but it makes me think of a cloud. Aquariuses that I know tend to be very dreamy in their own world. I feel like that's why I think of a cloud. I don't know why. But Aquariuses are they can be very artistic, they can be very creative in general. They can kind of be like a weirdo, not to be mean, but like, I mean, they're just kind of eccentric in a way, and I feel like it's a good thing though that they're eccentric. They're very unique, they're very genuine people. Because you're a little bit eccentric, you're artistic, you're that kind of person, you can be a little like withdrawn, a little shy and quiet, but like at the same time you can be super energetic and loud. When you find something that you're passionate about, especially, you can be this really energetic individual. And I think like I really like Aquariuses because of like that difference in their personality. They're so unique and eccentric, but at the same time, like, I mean, they're just like very dynamic, and I really like that about Aquariuses. So I'm actually gonna put Aquarius in between Scorpio and Taurus. So it's right above Scorpio but below Taurus, because I really do like Aquarius. I feel like it's a really good sign, and I mean, I think I'm a really dreamy person, so like I could see myself being an Aquarius. Sorry, my camera died. And now it's back alive. Now we are on to our very last sign, and that is Pisces. Pisces is a mutable water sign, so like I think of like a river, kind of like a ever-changing, ever-flowing water sign. Pisces will hate you but also love you at the same time. They hate and they love you. A very emotional sign, and Lord knows I love the Pisces in my life. Like I do, I get along with them great, but the sign itself, like, they can be very friendly. They're very, I feel like they're good small talkers, at least the ones that I know, are very good at chatting along with you. I feel like they can kind of get hung up on like things that happened in the past, and that can kind of haunt them. A lot of the Pisces I know are actually really prone to anxiety, which is kind of interesting. They can be very selfless people. They are very nice and easy to get along with in general. I feel like if you know Pisces in your life, you probably get along with them pretty well, but at the same time, I feel like they can have this other side to them where they really have this need to be heard and like accepted and all that kind of stuff. I feel like they just really need to have their voice be heard. And I just kind of feel indifferently towards Pisces in general as a sign. I mean, a lot of the Pisces I know are really nice people, but like overall, I just feel indifferent about them. They don't give me a strong negative vibe and a strong positive vibe, but they're kind of like there, you know, like they just are there. I'm gonna put my Pisces right above my Capricorns, but below my Aries. So my final order actually is Virgos are my favorite apparently, which I didn't ever realize, but I do love my Virgos. So Virgos, Tauruses, Aquarius, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Aries, Pisces, Capricorns, Libras, Cancer, Leo, and Geminis, which are apparently my least favorite. I'm sorry, Geminis, I didn't mean to. I hope you didn't get offended. It was just kind of like a fun video. I mean, astrology doesn't really determine who you are as a person, so don't take it personally. But overall, this is my favorite is Virgos, and my least favorite are my Geminis. I'm sorry, Geminis. Virgos, I love you. And Tauruses, I love my Tauruses. But for real, thank you so much for tuning into this video. If you haven't yet, please click that subscribe button because I have a ton of fun content coming up in the next couple of months even. So thank you so much for watching this video, and let me know if you want to see more astrology related content because I'd be glad to do that. Thank you so much. Bye!